What's going on, guys? Jay Hoyt back with you today. Today I'm here with my oh my god. Try that again.
Were you redoing that?
Yeah.
I'm here for this.
my words just were like, nah, we're not gonna work.
Her body's gold like September. She burns through the night like an ember. And all those things we try forgetting, I remember. But we say we all fine, we all fine.
What's going on, guys? Jay Hoyt back with you today. Today I am back with my brother, and we are talking about these Stanley Cup Finals. Chris, how are you doing today?
I am normally doing good, but since we're looking at my playoff bracket, I want to throw up and cry.
So if you guys haven't heard, or if you don't follow sports, or if you only watch my videos to follow what's happening in the sports world, the Pittsburgh Penguins are once again the Stanley Cup champions.
Oh, God, you said it.
Yeah. As much as I didn't want to say it, we have to. Now, as much as we both hate the Penguins, both hate Crosby, both hate, well, I mean, I personally hate PK Subban, it was a fun final. I'll give it that much. It was really entertaining to watch. So if you guys don't remember these graphics, these are the ones that we made in it was almost, I think, an hour-long playoff prediction video, which was really fun to make, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And this one was crazy. I mean, let's just start right off in the Western Conference here, just kind of recap what happened. And if you remember what actually happened in the series, because I don't remember the exact scores of every single one. But Chicago and Nashville to start it off. And the funny part is we both actually had Chicago winning.
Yeah, I had Chicago in 6 because Pecorine was hot, but, you know, apparently Pecorine was a little bit hotter than hot.
Well, I just closed something I shouldn't have. But, yeah, so we were both wrong on that one, which kind of sucked because that was my only flaw in going into the second round, which kind of sucked. But second series, you were so adamant, I think that's the right word, about Minnesota, about how they were going to win.
You know, I was adamant about a lot of teams, and I learned that you have to expect the unexpected. But the thing was, you know, hockey, you know, I like to think it's one of those sports that it most of the time kind of goes the way I think it's going to go. And then these playoffs rolled around, and I was dang wrong.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just found it funny how during the video you were so like, oh, Minnesota's got the better team, you know, blah, blah, blah. And we were both talking about it. And I was just like, I'm going to pick St. Louis because why not?
I reminded you like 3 or 4 times that St. Louis didn't have Kevin Shattenkirk anymore, and you were like, yeah, I don't care. St. Louis is going to win the series. I was like, okay, so when Minnesota wins.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure you said, remember that St. Louis doesn't have Shattenkirk and Washington does, probably like 15 times during that video.
Yeah, well, we learned that Shattenkirk doesn't mean a dang thing to either of them, apparently.
Oh, we'll get to that once we get to the other side about Shattenkirk and Washington. But then we were both spot on with the Anaheim and Edmonton prediction, which, I mean, was there really like an actual series there?
No, I thought those were kind of easy for me. I did say Edmonton was going to win in 7 games, and it didn't take them that long. They won in 6, but I knew Anaheim would roll through Calgary. And then, like you said, Edmonton I had as well. So that one I think was, it was one of my 2 that I got both of them right. So I must have done something well on that part of the bracket there.
Yeah. So let's hop on over to the eastern side where we had the Montreal Canadiens and New York. Now, I think we were both correct on this one as well, where we both picked the Rangers.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, how many games did that one go? I don't remember that one.
6. I had it going 7, but Rangers were able to win on the road in 6 games.
Yeah, I don't know what it was about that series, but it was just like, oh.
Sorry, I was at home in 6 games, my bad.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, when I was thinking about that series, just like, I don't know what it was, but like, I feel like Montreal's kind of like a Washington type team to where they could be first every year and still choke in the playoffs.
I don't know if Montreal's that good. I wouldn't compare them to Washington necessarily, but like I said when we made this video a while ago, the Atlantic was weak this year with Montreal, Ottawa, Boston, and Toronto being the top four. At least in the regular season, they were weak. So I kind of knew that one off the bat that, if a good team wins a bad division, how good are they?
Yeah, I mean, very true there. Then on the second one, this is where it kind of gets interesting, where I actually had Ottawa going to the second round, and you had Boston, and Ottawa ended up taking that one. I believe it was in 6 games.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I thought it was going to go 6 games, but I had Boston taking it. I just didn't think Ottawa had the firepower to get through there, but they came out firing and got through.
Yeah, that was a really good series. What was really strange was I think they were another team that had some defensive injury problems too, with who was it? Colin Miller,
Torrey Krug.
Yeah, Torrey Krug, probably the biggest one. And then wasn't there another one for like a game or two?
I'm not sure off the top of my head, to be honest with you.
I don't remember, but that's when we saw. I think it was the debut of Charlie McAvoy, brought into the playoffs. Which, I mean, he actually looked really. I don't want to say really like superstar good, but he looked like solid, like a solid defenseman for being not playing there very long.
Yeah, they're pretty set on the right side of the defense for a while with him and Carlo there.
Yeah, Carlo, wasn't that the other injury?
It might have been. I'm not sure offhand.
Yeah, so let's move to the bottom side, where I believe we both had, I don't think it was really a question here, but Washington and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I thought the Columbus-Pittsburgh series was going to be a lot closer, especially with I'm assuming Vezina, the trophy winner, Sergei Bobrovsky in that, but only took Pittsburgh 5 games. They came out just destroying, so that surprised me, but I knew Washington was going to win. Took a game more than I expected, but,
So they won, was it 6?
Yeah.
Was this? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. When I thought of Washington and the Pittsburgh, like both of those winners, I don't know what it was, but I was like, okay, this is like the most like easy decision out of this entire like bracket, because even with like the Edmonton and San Jose series, I was like, this is going to be a good series, like a really close series. But then I had Edmonton end up winning that. So it was like, okay, with Washington and Pittsburgh, it was like, okay, I guess the losers of those 2 games, I thought they were going to maybe take a game or two. Actually, didn't I have Washington 4-0 over Toronto?
I'm not sure. I had them in 5. I had Toronto winning 1 game, but not 2.
I think I said 4 on that video. I don't remember. But, I mean, that was probably pretty easy. But then let's move on to the second round. Let's go to the West, where Chicago, second round, wrong one here. I had Chicago and St. Louis, whereas you had Chicago and Minnesota, which was wrong. I mean, I had St. Louis end up getting there, so that was correct. Minnesota obviously wasn't there. And then somehow Nashville beat Chicago, and that ruined kind of both of ours in that aspect.
Yeah, well, we've reached the part of the video where I no longer got any other picks correct. So, clearly a lot of things did not go the way I expected. Back to the first round real quick, my surefire picks were Washington, Anaheim, and Chicago. And, well.
Yeah. But, I mean, Nashville came out of nowhere, so I'll give them that. So they ended up beating Chicago, obviously. And then St. Louis came out and beat Minnesota. Then the bottom, we had Anaheim and Edmonton. I had Edmonton winning that series, which did not happen.
Yeah, I had Edmonton winning that one as well. I thought Connor McDavid was just going to put the Oilers on his back and go all the way to the Western Conference Finals and lose to the Blackhawks. But he wasn't able to get it done, which is fine. Still scored the most points in the league, is currently the 1A best player in the league, or 1B, I should say, best player in the league. So, he'll get it done soon.
Yeah, and then where are we? We're in the conference finals for the East, where I thought that the Rangers were going to win over Ottawa. I don't know what it was, but I was like, I think we said the same thing for the Montreal and Rangers series and the Rangers and Ottawa series, where the Rangers had too much depth to do anything with. And then Ottawa comes out and was like, I don't even know what it was.
You know, Craig Anderson was standing on his head like crazy. Erik Karlsson was crazy to me that he played, you know, on his foot, you know, with all those, you know, whatever broken bones and whatnot. So that was really surprising to me. So I think at that point, once Craig Anderson was just playing out of his mind and Lundqvist couldn't stop a puck for a couple of games there, you know, it was kind of over at that point.
Yeah, and then also kind of the story of that series was, I don't remember the exact stat line. I've kind of rough numbers here, but it was something along the lines of time leading in games to where the Rangers were at like 100 plus minutes, Tide was like 100 plus minutes, and the Senators had like 5 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, that is very accurate, and that's another reason that I was shocked, because that's like every single game of NHL 17 I've ever played, to be honest with you, where you could be leading for 59 minutes and still lose the game.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really fun series to watch, especially because those were kind of the two teams that Chris and I both kind of, I guess, were supporting. I mean, obviously you're a true Rangers fan, and I'm just kind of on the, I guess, hometown team kind of with Ottawa, sort of. And that moves us to the most interesting part, where the Washington-Pittsburgh series, I had Pittsburgh in it, and you had Washington. And I don't want to say Washington couldn't get it done, but obviously I believe it went to Game 7, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know what it is about Washington. They can be the most dominant team in the NHL every single year, and then whatever it is about Pittsburgh, they cannot get by them.
Yeah, it really annoys me, to be honest with you. I'd rather see Washington win than Pittsburgh, but just the fact that they couldn't get by him again is just, it's crazy to me, man, because you think Ovechkin's going to get past Crosby at least once in his career, and, you know, happens again where he doesn't, and that's why you're hearing all this Ovechkin trade talk.
But the question is, will he ever get past it? I
don't think so. I really don't at this point.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think every time he plays Pittsburgh in the playoffs, he will lose. Think about it this way. He's older than Crosby and Malkin, so he's probably going to retire first. That's all you really need to know.
I mean, kinda, but then again, if, you know, just say, obviously we don't wish injuries on anyone, but if an injury were to happen to anyone, you know, obviously that could affect things. But it's kind of like Jaromir Jagr too, where I'm not saying he's still a dominant player, but he's still a good player. At what is he, like 44, 45, 43, somewhere around there?
Yeah, approaching that age, yeah.
So, I mean, I personally, like you said, I'd love to see the Capitals beat Pittsburgh at least one time to at least get Ovi to the next round to see if he could do anything there. Like, just imagine if they get past him one time in Ovi's career and they win it, like win the cup.
Exactly. That's what's crazy about it.
Like, it just happens, like, just say an off year for the Penguins. Like, they get into the second round against Washington and just be like, okay, let's not obviously on purpose, but all of a sudden randomly they're like not dominant in that series.
Yeah, this is very true. I'd love to see it happen one day. I want to see Ovi lift a cup, you know, if for no other reason, just because Sidney Crosby can't that year.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move right on to the Stanley Cup final, where the Edmonton Oilers, for myself, did obviously not make it there. Obviously, Nashville did. And Pittsburgh, obviously, I got that one right. Then your Stanley Cup final, obviously, Chicago losing the first round didn't help. And then we both had the winner of the Pittsburgh and Washington series in the Stanley Cup final for the East. And you picked Washington. So, I mean, we only had one team out of both of us to be there.
Yeah, RIP to me. But, you know, it happens. I was wrong on both teams, but, you know, it's fine. I'll take the L. Don't worry.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these, especially the Western Conference, I'll admit, I kind of guessed on a lot of them because I didn't know much about them. Obviously, Ottawa being in the East and the Rangers being in the East, the two teams we kind of follow the most. that we paid more attention to the Eastern Conference. At least I did, than the West. I mean, obviously sometimes if if they're playing an what do you want to call it, interconference game, obviously we'll see that. But I didn't know too much about the West, so I didn't kind of bullshit all the way through the video, but I knew some stuff, but not a lot.
I was pretty confident, but again.
At least we had 2 series perfect. Well, you did.
Yeah, that's true. Something to look forward to.
But then obviously the winners ended up being Pittsburgh. So congratulations to them, and obviously Nashville, a hell of a run that probably not very many people expected that one.
No, if you don't live in Tennessee, there was like 10 other people that probably expected that, but we were the ones that were wrong.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun to watch. I'll give it that much. These playoffs have been really, really entertaining.
Yeah, I love hockey so much that even that there was, some kind of blowout games, it's still a blast to watch because, you're still seeing these teams compete like crazy and go at each other, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and one thing I was kind of saying to, I guess, our mom during the Stanley Cup final, actually Game 6 there, was the amount of pressure that Pittsburgh was putting on. It's like, if you watch just, say, Ottawa, for example, that I know clearly of what they do, but they have 2 guys on the forecheck, then they have their 3rd guy kind of hanging up top, and then they, depending on where they try to, the defending team tries to break out from, then they'll adjust their forecheck onto that. But then Pittsburgh was having, one guy in on the goalie, then, one guy kind of blocking one lane, then the 3rd guy skating with the guy in the middle, and then their defense was at, the offensive blue line. It was like these guys are putting so much pressure on that. I was just like, and if you did that in a video game, everyone would blow right by you. You wouldn't have a chance to stop that. But then all of a sudden, Pittsburgh just makes it work.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing. They have enough speed to get back into play. That's why they're able to get away with it so often.
Yeah, I mean, either way, it was really entertaining. I always just want to see a good game. Usually I don't really care who wins, but, since Ottawa did go so far, and a lot of those guys, both of us saw play, obviously, in their AHL team, that were really fun to watch. Obviously, a couple of them being with the Rangers now, and even moved on to other teams, especially Mike Fisher from Nashville. I was kind of hoping for it for him, but either way, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up here. If you guys did enjoy, hit that like button. Anything else you guys say, Chris?
No, I'm just looking forward to the expansion draft, to be honest with you, and can't wait to see what happens there.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be... that's probably is that the first time in our lifetime that expansion happened?
No, but the first time we're going to remember it.
All right, so if you guys enjoy it, like I said, hit that like button. Comment below what you guys saw of the video. If, how'd you guys do? If you guys made any predictions, if you guys made brackets, let us know how you guys did down in the comment section below, and subscribe for more. Anyway, guys, we'll see you later.
Jumping off the porch like mom's not home. Just a couple kids living on our own.